Hello everyone, I-0386SX, and it's another battery rebuild video. But instead of my normal computer batteries and CMOS batteries, tonight we present ourselves with this Porter cable model 8723 cordless drill. This unit's actually surprisingly easy to work on. There's a lot of room to work in. There's no circuit board or battery module system in it, anything like that, so you have that going for you, as opposed to, for example, with this laptop battery, somehow this board is supposed to slip in there. Not a fun task, and I've ruined a few batteries trying to restore those, and unfortunately they're so popular that I feel bad when I kill them, so yeah, fun. But yeah, this battery, very easy to work on compared to others. You do, however, need some tools, like with anything else. Of course, you need a multimeter, you need yourself a basic set of tools like so. You need 12 sub-C batteries for this unit, and you need a spot welder. The soldering iron, that is if your spot welder is a Amazon special like mine. If you have an advanced enough one or a powerful enough one, you don't need the soldering iron, but I do. To crack this unit open is, again, a very surprisingly simple endeavor. So let's get right into that. And I'll get a little bit more into the story of why I'm rebuilding this battery for the way I am in a little bit. Just gotta put my tools away properly. There was some live stream fun that abruptly ended due to a broken belt. It looks like I'm still trying to clean up the aftermath of that, apparently. I believe this is a T10. It is a T10. Yeah, so you need a T10 to break into this unit. You also need some nickel strip. Again, very cheap. So, this actually came from a drill from work. And the guy that had the drill or knows about the drill, the coworker of mine, it's like, oh, I quoted around and it cost over $100 to either rebuild or replace this battery. And that's why I took it upon myself to say, yeah, I can do it a lot better than 100. And to prove that, this set, I think here, of 12 cost me around $15. And these are EBL. They're not a terrible brand by any stretch of the imagination, but typically I charge for a repair like this, but the clicks and views will pay for itself in no time. So that is why I have decided to take this on my own personal free will. And granted, I don't know when this quote for this battery was made. It was a while ago. Got wind that I do own a spot welder and do all the fun battery rebuild stuff, so here we are. So there's 5 of these screws. They don't take a lot of effort to get out. And this piece, I believe, just slips out. And there you go. That is your battery right there. And not that I expect any voltage to be on this thing, but we'll see, just for giggles. Nothing at all. So let's pull this out. You can just tip this unit. Maybe this one's putting up more of a fight than the first one I did. Oh, here we go. So yeah, that one came right out. And you will want to save this piece. This is where the soldering iron may come into play, depending on how strong your spot welder is. It's also going to take some gentle nudging to get that off. Which, that's the one tool I don't have, is the way to get that off at the moment. But Other than that, there should be absolutely no soldering whatsoever required. There is a diode, I believe it's a diode right where I'm pointing there. You will have to consider that when you're rebuilding this unit. But regardless, first thing I need to do is get something to pry that off. A sponger tool, a good sponger tool, or a good flathead screwdriver will do. If I recall my history lesson correctly, I think I just used a sponger. Gotta be a metal one though. Now, if this battery actually had any charge whatsoever, be careful. You could short out and cause yourself a bad time. Oh, there we go. Try not to bend those tabs too far over. And it's also not a bad idea to take a picture of your unit beforehand, which I am going to do right now. That one didn't put up much of a fight. Okay. And just carefully pull this out. And the only other thing you got to worry about at this point is the diode. At least I believe it's a diode. And the old diode here is putting up a fight. So we're going to probably tear into this unit just a little bit. It is surrounded by tape. Yeah, that unit's just... Okay, so the unit's actually taped on. The last one wasn't. Okay. That's interesting. But regardless, that's the way this is going to work, so... If you do break this little diode, I don't know of a replacement, so just keep that in mind. So, yes, that is your old battery in a nutshell. And just for curiosity's sake, there is a date. Ooh, this might be... This battery is from 2002 or 2003. Make that of what you will there, but yeah, so this one's got some age on her. So we set that all aside for now, and what I'd like to do, especially for a novice, tip that upside down, line up exactly according to the way you see it there, and yes. And one word of note, if you could get these without the solder tabs on them, that is a recommendation. Although you can probably use some of the solder tabs, but for 3/4 of this project, they just get in the way. So I would suggest against the solder tab variety, and like that one is not standing up evenly, so let's see if I can aid flatness to the point where we'll do that, or we're just gonna have to somehow get that stuff off. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, this one just does not want to stand up even. Oh, there we go. I think we can make that work. Excellent. China. Yeah, there we go. And I already got this in a state of oops. So something like that. And you probably could use the old shell as a guide here if you wanted to. Yeah, this is why you try to buy them without the solder tabs if possible. But I did not do that, so that's my cross to bear. And then this one, you got 3 negatives like so. Yeah, this one's really bad. I'm probably gonna set that one aside. Let's see if I can get these solder tabs off of this unit. Oh man, outlook's not so good here. I did better than the other one I had, I guess. So that's alright. And not so much there. And of course, I'm recording this, so it's gonna fight for dear life. Well, I got an idea. Don't try this at home. Just had it too. Here we go. Electronics clippers, anyone? In some cases, you can do this. In other cases, the spot tack welds are going to be so stubborn that this is just absolutely not going to work in your favor anyways. That's a little bit better. I think I can use that. Other than the spot welder, this is basically the tools you have in your toolbox, or most mechanically inclined folks have these tools in their toolbox. So, not a big deal. Maybe the spudgers they don't, but oops. Camera's on. Anyway, so now when you get this far, you are ready to start cutting some nickel strip. Rolls like this, under $10 on Amazon. Of course, all links will be in the description. I just use 0.1 millimeter. In this case, this is 5 millimeters wide, 0.1 millimeters thick. And would help if I have something to cut this up with. And I just kind of eye it up. Sometimes I'm on the zone with this, other times I blow it completely, and you just follow the pattern of your old battery. That's about as simple as it gets. This one didn't do terribly bad. I probably could have made that one longer, but not a big deal. Again, you just follow the lead. I may want the electronics grade needle nose or pliers just to straighten any odd edges out in your nickel strip if that does happen. See, this one's a little more, that's a little bit closer to the right length. And one word of caution is that you don't want to start digging in the insulation of these, as that's when you create shorts and start fires, and we don't want to start any fires or create shorts today. We're just gonna do a one-for-one build, pretty straightforward, at least you'd hope. And I need 3 more. Alright, so there's 3. And for those new to this channel or newcomers, most of my videos are unscripted, so... And we are a low-budget operation, so if anything that imperfections you may see, well, you're just going to see them. Not crazy about the way that one's hanging on, but we'll make it work. Nor am I crazy about this. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no. You get back to where you're supposed to be, buddy. This may be one I try to cut a little bit more of that stuff off the positive bleed, because it's sticking up quite a bit and causing a slight disturbance with the old nickel strip. We want this stuff as flat as humanly possible. Something like that. Yep. Okay, great. That's a little bit better. It's workable. not going to go through nickel stripping the entirety of this battery on video, but once you get a couple down, you'll get the idea. This one right here will need to be adjusted just a hair. This one's pretty much a 2/3 strength. That should be good. And let's just get started here. Now, if you hit an edge with this, you're going to get a lot more sparks, so try not to do that. Don't hold it too hard. Don't hold it too far away. You hit an edge, you're going to have a bad time. If you're too far away, just a hair, you're going to have a bad time. And sometimes the unit's just going to, you may just get a little sparky, depending on, there's some other variables that you just can't control. Sometimes these things like to channel their inner adrenaline, and you just get a little sparky. If you use the included nickel strips with EPL batteries, they like to get sparky. I'm not a fan of them, personally. I don't like the sparks that much. Yeah, I almost created one on my own here. Let's see if I can flatten that down a little bit. There we go. Okay, we're going to try that again. That was kind of weird. Good. You know, the way quickly this is going, I'm showing you most of it, so okay, second thought. I might show you the entire nickel strip process. No big deal, right? Yeah, it got a little sparky, but that's not too bad. And you are, I'm going to call it a third of the way done once this one is completed. These do get a little hot, so do keep that in mind if you go quickly. Oh, my order's on the way. Okay, that's good. I don't know what I ordered. That one was a little sparky, but again, not nothing too bad. But yes, those handles do get warm. They do cool off quickly. I don't know if I can do a temperature thing on them or not. Yeah, so yeah, 94 degrees, 80 to 90 degrees. That's not terrible. Mine always this heat shrink. It actually came with this unit. Every once in a while, I'm gonna pull it back up. Not a big deal. So yeah, you're a third of the way done. I say a third. Where's my? Oh, there we go. I say a third only because of this unit here. This is the sole reason why I'm not calling it a half. So now we get to tip this puppy over and do it like this. So in theory, we should be able to tip this up, and it should look pretty much the same. But if you're worried about that, there is, since they did tape this one, you can tape yours too. And I'm going to use good old-fashioned packaging tape because that's pretty much what Porter Cable or whoever they Porter Cable outsourced to used. Oh, these are, that's one thing I didn't know. These are actually cells made by Sanios. That's a halfway decent brand. That should be long enough. So yeah, I'm just cutting some packaging tape. If you have skinnier stuff of this, go ahead and use that. That is ideal. And once again, we are failing miserably to rip this stuff evenly, but oh well. And we do something like this. Do bear in mind you may have to loosen this just a hair to get that diode in. And my length is nothing more than an estimate. So now, in theory, if we flip her over, we should have something like this. So notice you have, oh, no we don't. We got something backwards. But how? Okay, we got something completely backwards here. Let's flip this over. Maybe I'm slightly dyslexic. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh yes, I did get a couple of these backwards, so that's easy enough to correct. So that's the good news. I'm going to go do that right now. Oh yeah, this threw me off. Okay, that was my fault. Hopefully we can rip this out without having to start over on tape, because that would be real annoying if I had to do that. But all right, so this one should be something like this. And okay, so that row, we're still missing something here. Yeah, we got quite a few things backwards here, so I don't want to cut my tape, but I'm gonna have to. Or I can just rip it like that. Okay, that's not so bad. All right, so I don't know how I confused it like that, but maybe that threw me off. I don't know. But at least we're not at the point of no return yet, so you do have that going for you. So let's rewind. We're gonna nickels weld a couple of these again. Not a big deal. So this one's like so. Oh, okay. Let's flip this upside down. That's where we're really getting screwed. So we are going to do something like this. So we're going to do this. No, that was right the first time. Okay, the more I look at this, the worse it gets. Lesson is check your homework. So now we should have one like this. That's right. One like this. That's right. This is where I think I got messed up. Or I had it wrong right the whole darn time and I just screwed myself out of a lot of work. I'm not sure. I legit believe I had it right the first time and I just confused myself. But everybody needs a blooper reel once in a while. Here at I-0386SX, we do sometimes keep our mistakes in there just so others can learn from me. So, yeah, I think that was correct the first time. So, I'm going to dare flip this thing over again. And now we should be able to flip this over. And there we go. That looks a little bit better. So, okay. So we got to do the same thing, but we have to keep in mind these cells don't get spot welded, at least not immediately. So we need 1, 2. Take that up. If you're using a soldering iron for these two, there's a trick to that too. You will need nickel strip, but not in the way that we're doing it for these other cells in question. So, okay, so we have our cells, so let's get started. That one. Like I said, I originally wasn't going to show you how to show the entire nickel strip process, but since we're this far at this point, I'm going to. That one's a little sparky. Alright, so now we gotta keep this in mind here. The nice thing about the Porter cable cordless drill is there is a little bit of room for forgiveness if things aren't quite lined up, although there's not a whole lot of room. But compared to the example I showed earlier, this is a nice easy one to prepare. And we got 2 more to go, at least of this style. We got one that goes right here. And after this one, we should be able to be at the point of testing voltage. So we got that one. And in theory, we should have a complete battery circuit. Albeit it does have a little bit more work to do. Alright, so in theory, I'm going to turn that off for a minute. Make sure nothing's shorted. If it's getting really hot, you know something is shorted. But now, we should be able to test voltage. And we got there. And we got 15 volts. So that is already looking a whole lot better. But now comes the fun part. I could put some nickel strip on here and try to solder. That's a very difficult thing to do. Batteries don't really like, one, they don't like heat. And 2, they don't really solder that way. So it can be done by some of those with extreme skill. I am not one of those people, so we are going to do this the old-fashioned way. We are, however, going to use nickel strip, the unit that I probably shouldn't have turned off, but let's do a little bit of measurement here. So if you see, it meets about halfway, so what I'm going to do is put nickel strip about the length of these terminals, and I'm only going to do the one side via spot welder. Same with the positive. You'll see what I'm meaning here in a second. And perhaps I turned off my spot welder a little too soon, but that is not a big deal. I also did not turn on my soldering iron yet, which I should probably do right now. And we probably should get it away from that power brick. Okay, so that is on its way. Fantastic. And that one's actually a little too long, so I'm just going to chop a little bit off of it. Cool. I want it square. This one's going to be important, otherwise it's going to be a very huge issue. And I think we should be able to... Yeah, that one should be good. And that one might be a hair too long as well. This is going to be the more complicated of the two, of course, because you got less room to work with, but you should be okay. Oh, a hair too long, I think, but I'm just going to chop a little bit more off of that one. That's what I get for trying to do this after work. Ooh, we almost had a tragedy there. I don't think I caught it in time. Okay, so that one is now attached, and we're only going to do the one side like we did there. Method behind the madness. That one was a little sparky. And that should do it. Okay, so now you want to do next is, well, the negative's already kind of bent up already, so I'm going to leave that one alone. Now you got to be careful with this. If you're using a metal spudger, you got to be careful here, because otherwise you will create a short, because this is a working battery at this point. And you just go apply a little bit of solder. Get rid of that excess tape. You can tell it's even taking a little bit of effort on this. Even if I would have spot welded the whole thing and call it good, then I have to heat up the whole battery, which is not good for a battery. So you can tell I had to go fight considerably more on the positive side versus the negative. Okay, so we lost the terminals. That's one thing you got to be worry about is losing terminals. So if you move a little too fast, you may be looking for a positive terminal. And if you are too reckless, you may be bending a terminal back. There you go. Okay. Speaking of that, we should correct this. Don't know quite how I'm going to do that, but oh, kind of, yes, I do. We're going to just do this. There we go. Okay, that actually works surprisingly well. So, in careful planning, we slip diode like so. And And this should slip right over. And then I'm going to use solder on both sides of this. And that should help us immensely. There we go. And that one sunk right down. It probably wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of a thicker tip on this, but that's what we got to work with for now. There's probably a better way to do this. Like I said, if you have the spot welder that can take the abuse, use that instead. I do not have such luxuries. And I don't know that that's attached. A little more solder ain't gonna hurt anything. I don't like the way that's attaching. Well, it don't go anywhere, I guess. That's what counts here. That's not going anywhere. At least it... Oh, wait. Again. Maybe it is. That's not going anywhere. At least the solder isn't. So that's what counts here. So this one I don't think is going anywhere either. Doesn't appear to be. So we are going to call this one good. And now we are ready to put this bad boy back together. Here's the moment of truth. Will it fit? And you may have to do some tape finagling to get this to go back in. Spudger tool, where are you? Oh, yeah, some of the packaging tape was getting in the way of mine, but if you have spudger tools, especially the plastic ones, that can make real short work of that packing tape and just finagle it in the right place, and you should be good to go. Oh, one more, really? There's 5 on this one. Okay. Look at that. Fits like a glove. So, just because I work in IT, and general rule of thumb is you don't seal the thing up before you test it. So, and this project is certainly no exception to that rule. We are still at 15.06. Fantastic. And we are going to put this unit back together. Like that. Fits like a glove. This is turning into a 40-minute uncensored, uncut, raw video. Wonderful. Let's see if we can beat this within 40 minutes here. Probably not, but we're going to try. I gotta take me that long to screw these in. Yep, that's gonna be about right. And I'm old because that just like took out my wrist. 15 seconds to beat the 40-minute mark. Are we going to do at least screw these in right at the 40? Probably not. Yeah, we did not beat the 40-minute mark. Oh well. Life goes on. But yes, that should be your Porter Cable 8723 in a nutshell. I don't have the drill with me to actually test this in, but considering that I don't have a battery module in this or anything like that, I don't think there's going to be any issue at this point. Still reading 15.06. Yeah, so we'll give this thing the old test, and well, if it's uploaded, you know it's good. So no cordless drill battery expert, but feel free to leave anything in the comments section as you wish. Questions, comments, constructive criticism. If you liked the video, please like. Then please subscribe. Helps me out a lot. It helps you a lot. And said I'm not charging anything to rebuild this, so your clicks and views are the only thing they're going to pay for this. So thank you for watching. Have yourselves a good one.